Are you a boob guy? More a butt guy? None of the above. None of the above, guy. I'm a hat man. I like a girl with a big old hat. Yeah. I was awestruck when she walked in.
Oh my gosh.
Not her bod, but how she topped it.
What?
Looking so fine with the long brim. And she clothesline people often.
Watch out, watch out.
Yeah. Taking up some space in the club.
Hey.
And I don't give a dang about the bud. You got a curvy hat. Damn girl, where's the derby at? Girl, your bucket hat is fucking fat. How much padding did you stuff in that? I think she got some work done, cause she's wearing a construction hat. Hey. Girl, you got the biggest hat I've ever seen before on your head.
Are you kidding me?
I can't even fathom how it got between the door on the way in. Can I weigh it? She sent me a pic at work, had to close it fast. In the pic she's fully clothed with a bowler hat. Hey, girl, you know you're bad. Fuck a titty, show me where is the fedora at. An enormous ass brim like 83 inches. Like she came to see Biscuit. 3 hats, that's a triple crown, dear. She snapped, said my eyes are down here. Girl, you got the biggest hat I've ever seen before on your head. Okay, okay, okay. What? Okay, okay. I can't even fathom how it got between the door on the way in. Can I weigh it?
No.
Good evening. Ooh, sorry. It's loud on my side. Give me 1 second. All right. Welcome to episode 76. I think that's what we are on. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm doing these new headphones. It's a little different. There we go. Okay. You guys tell me how the sound is on your side, though. Gosh, 710. I'm so excited to see 71 DPO or 0. I think it is more than exciting to see you in the chat. It's been way too long. How is your show going? Are you still doing it? Because if you are, I need to get on that. Well, I'm not saying actually on it, but I need to start watching your show. I miss you. I hope you and the family are doing awesome. Kim Painter, I'm so excited to see you. Your baby's wearing all of his new outfits. He's looking so cute. I'm just saying. He wears dinosaurs today. Killing it. Riding skateboards. Gosh, thank you. Big ups to you. Sorry, I'm messing with all this. It's my big hat. Just kidding. How is everybody's night going? I'm really excited about this show. I did put some more effort than usually into this one. There's still a couple flaws. I did do something that I'll explain further that I wish I did differently. It's okay. I'm just gonna get better and better as time goes on, in theory. If it doesn't, it's not good. Love for the plant. F yeah, sup J-Lo. Sorry. Cheers to you and all fellow growers. God, what a nice message. Been a hot minute. I haven't done a show in forever. Glad to see you and the family doing great. Gosh, you need to get back to it. You're so good at it. You're like way better at public speaking or speaking on a podcast. I don't know. You have a great personality. You should be doing that. And you're so knowledgeable. So, yeah. You should come on my show. Yep. That would be awesome. You just let me know if you ever are interested or if you ever have time. If you have a subject or a topic that would interest you, or if you don't, that's okay too. We can just hang out. I feel like we're missing Michelle in here. Okay. Mr. Leal. I hope not. Arizona Grows. Gosh. I need a squad. Anyways, this squad though. My sparkle babies, thank you so much. And thank you for watching the last couple shows. If you were in there, because I'm trying to get back into the flow. And I've noticed it's really hard to keep getting an audience if you keep skipping weeks. So those that are my ride or dies, thank you. Mr. Leal, thank you. James Hammerstrom. I'm sorry if I say anybody's names incorrectly. I need to work on some things. But it is such a good evening to have you here. And thank you for appreciating the hat. I did adjust my headphones moving forward because I do wear hats every day. And it was hard for me to do these podcasts without hats. And I'm like, I know everybody wants these shirts and headphones, but I want the hat more. So thank you. I really appreciate that. I need to clean my hats. They're looking a little rough lately. Okay, I'm going to be moving out of Arizona. Big ups for anyone that lives here. So fucking hot and people suck at driving. It's funny, I was born there. And Kim Painter lives there, and obviously Arizona Grows. You guys should link up. But it is fucking hot. I have lived in Colorado for 27 years, majority of my life. But I know about that Arizona. And it's a different vibe. But you're always on the go, though. You're on the East Coast, over there. I bet you deal with the shittiest drivers. You know Colorado has I don't even want to get into that. It's embarrassing. Okay, Rotten Skateboards. Always dig your broadcast. Tons of great insights. Hope you got to sneak some blunts in between Bambinos. Oh, gosh, Rotten Skateboards. Thank you so much. The blunts I miss so much. I feel like I've been pregnant or having a baby or doing baby for so long. It's like probation was the only time prior to this that I really probably took breaks, forcefully. I'm pretty sure I didn't do those that great. But this time, I can't wait to roll up a backwood. Sorry, I can't talk. But yeah, I miss those bad boys. I miss even my swishers. My swishers with my diet blunts. And that's been hard. That's been hard to be without. Yeah, I've been trying to take it easy. But after our other son is born, I'm going to be getting ripped. It's going to be great. Oh, yeah. So just hang in there with me and we'll have a smoke sesh after this. We's in the juice. What up, y'all? I love it. Dino Grow 2017. Hi, live. Hi, J-Lo. Thank you so much. So nice. Hi to you. I hope you're high too. Fazoli. This blunt is for you then. Thank you, Fazoli. What are you smoking? I'm not Prego. Oh, I love it. Yeah, tell me what you're hitting. I'll just fantasize about it. God. You stopped for the baby, I'm guessing. Have you talked to mothers that consume through? Yeah, I have really mixed feelings because I'm not going to go into details. But let's just say allegedly, I might have smoked through my first pregnancy, when the time was right. But I did notice even like morning sickness and some of these other things. It was really awesome. Awesome assistance, awesome help. But this time, like honestly, it was more after our baby was born that I was like, wow, I just am never going to sleep again. And I would get high and then be like, I shouldn't have gotten high. So I purified myself. And now I'm pregnant and I was doing breastfeeding for a long time. So it's just bleeding into like more and more time. But at this point, I just would get fucked up if I smoked even like a full bowl. But that would be nice. I don't know. I was talking to Jason about it and I was like, I can't wait to smoke all of it, everything again. I don't have a problem if women smoke. Obviously, if they're pregnant, I know plenty of women, like you said, through and through. And I don't know, but I've got so many like haters or Jason or I don't know that I'm like always like paranoid more than about those things. I'm more paranoid about people getting crazy, But I appreciate that you say respect to you for whatever decision. Because that is really nice. I think that there's so much shit that people are critical of when you're pregnant. But I don't know. Smoke them if you got them. Because I fucking miss it. And I'm going to be getting ripped after our new little man comes into the world and things start to level out a little bit. I'm smoking blunts. And I'm smoking all the blunts. Okay. I might have to build my tolerance again, but I'm down for that challenge. I would like you guys to be a part of it as well. It's amazing because you think I would talk more clearly, not as high, but I feel like getting high was better for me. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, 71 deep. Why can't I just say your name right? I always want to call you 710 DP. Maybe, I don't know what my problem is. I hear you. I did a 46-month break. 2 rips would get me stuck when I started back in. Yeah, I noticed that my little splurging moments, I would literally get like the munchies again and so like uncomfortably high. Where I didn't want to be high with Jason or like anybody I've been high with plenty of times where I was like, you guys are totally not ready for the conversation I'm not going to be able to have. But yeah, the first 2 weeks back is a doozy. We call him DP. Thank you, Wheezing the Juice, because I needed that. You'd think I'd be more graceful at this time or at this point, especially with DP, but no. Just keep fucking it up. So thank you. Cleared up now. We're going to be coasting. So tonight, I have a podcast prepared, which has never happened on the Treat Show. Oh, that's actually what you go by? DP, is that actually your like nickname? How like J-Lo, your DP? That's cool. That's really cool. Yeah. It's like DP Doe. No, but Wheezing the Juice. So awesome. That's cool. Did you watch DP's show previously then? Because his podcast was really great. Pisses me off that the channel got deleted. But to be expected. Anything cool gets deleted. I'm telling you. Okay, so are you guys ready to see this? I don't know how you're going to feel. I'm kind of intimidated. Let's see. My incredible tech guy got me prepared, but he's watching our son. So cross your fingers that I do this gracefully. Yes. Okay, so we're going to talk about a couple little key components tonight in this slideshow. I'll show you the flaws to my slide as we go. They're not as bad as you think, but I thought I could prepare the slideshow and then come back and add photos and do some editing. And it really just messed up everything. So if it's hard to read, I really tried to enhance the font and change things, but I shouldn't have done this after the fact. I thought it wouldn't be a problem. It was a problem. Same with photos. There will be some judgment, okay, and then well deserved. But we can work through it. Like I said, we'll just get better and better over time. Oh, Fal Bundy, so good to see you. I respect you more. I am so happy you're here. Burning and learning. Riding skateboards. Yes, that's what I'm hoping out of this. Okay, I'm going to stop fucking with my headphones. Here we go. The Treat Show. Growth with intention. Feed with purpose. Harvest excellence. I just want it to be a commercial. Knowledge is the best nutrient. God, so good. Just kidding. Okay, macronutrients. I know that you guys already know this. Majority of the people in the chat or that will listen to the show. I know there's plenty of shows that talk about this. So I'm not going to dive super deep. We'll just cover some of the key points to these. Yeah. Aw, Fal Bundy. All the cool kids are in here. It's my favorite. DP, glad you are still doing shows. I caught up on a few I've missed. Been needing some good content out there. That's so nice of you guys. You guys don't even know how much it means to me. I get really discouraged sometimes for obvious reasons, but it really means so much to me. Thank you. Okay. Nitrogen. I'm trying to think the best way I can run through this, but we know nitrogen is very, very, very important. But key components, the leaf and stem, growth, greenness, and vigor. Phosphorus, root development, energy transfer. Potassium, bud and flower formation, yield and potency. Calcium, cell wall strength, pH buffer, and uptake. Manganese. Oh, sorry, this is magnesium. I'm so sorry. We're in macro still. Enzyme, activation, chlorophyll production. Chlorophyll production. Sorry. Sulfur, protein, synthesis, amino acids, formation. Okay, so those are our key little macros over here. We're going to move to our next slide. I promise this will probably be the roughest part, hopefully. And let's see if I already double layered. Jason warned me not to do this. And here we go. Okay, fixed. Micronutrients. So small amounts, big impact. It's very true though. Iron, chlorophyll production. Manganese, enzyme activation. Zinc, hormone production. Copper, redox reactions. Boron, cell wall strength. This word, molybdenum. Okay, I always want to call it molybdenum, but nitrogen, metabolism. Chlorine, water balance. Sorry. So these are all key components to success, obviously. I think sometimes people get too caught up with feeding synthetically or organically in some of these things when all of your feeds essentially or soil should be having a little bit of all of this going on. Obviously your macros are going to be higher, but okay, let's skip through that for a second. Let's see here. Okay. Products and how they work by growth phase. I'm sorry again that I couldn't make this more crystal clear. It's very annoying. Tried so hard. But we know when they're clones or seedlings at their youngest stage, the root development is really the most key component of what's happening. Hormone and cutting support also obviously taking place, but we won't expand on that because it's going to sound ridiculous. Vegetative. So leaf and stem growth, photosynthesis, and nutrient uptake boost, early flower, pre-flower transition, bud site formation, PK increase, mid-flower, flower density, aroma and terpene production, PK focus, late flower, ripening, potency, and trichome development. So exciting. You know, it seems so simple here, but you guys know when you're actually watching the plant go through these phases, visually, it's so stimulating and so empowering because you can actually see the growth and changes, which sounds ridiculous, but when you actually get to see the first 2 weeks in flower, really just getting their stretch on, their leaves are filling out. There's not much going on with like color. Obviously, trichomes aren't quite there. I don't know, but it's cool because you can almost see the plant's structure really taking off. I think mid-flower is probably the most exciting for me personally. You start to see all the color variations or the smell starts really popping. I think the trichomes are even more exciting because you can see that cloudiness or kind of, it's not quite amber obviously yet, but it's cool to see them go from like just crystal clear to their changes, especially under a microscope. It's just more fun. Let's see what's going on in our chat. Oh, I just saw a quick glance. I gotta go up a little higher. Oh, oh, I love that you guys are talking to each other, checking in on the fam. I'm not gonna invade your conversation. Okay. Oh, Kim Painter, I needed this love, the breakdown. Yeah, we'll go into it more too in the future, but like one category at a time. Just so this is just a little dabble our toes in everything. But I would like to, just for the people that are really interested in very specific information, I'd like to dial this in. But thank you for saying that because I know I could use some enhancement on my slideshow. AI viewers streamboo.com working break front. Okay. I'm not sure. I hope you're well. We can't eavesdrop again. Dogs are awesome. Except for our dogs lately. Oh my gosh. Rotten Skateboards, thank you so much. Everyone says that one different. Molybdenum. I say it wrong. No, it's a super difficult word to pronounce. I really have to like sound it out if we're really gonna take it there. And I don't want to say it in a casual conversation. It's just like skip. Just kidding. But no, I hate it. I wanted to make a show that not everybody would appreciate, but I wanted to take all those types of words in cultivation specifically and just have like a group of people getting high trying to pronounce them with no judgment, right? This is like because we all fuck up all these specific words, I think. I think it'd be funny. I don't know. People would probably be embarrassed or something stupid. Okay, question. When is the best time to start introducing macros and which are better for your veg flower cycles? Okay, DP, we're going to be getting into that further into this thing. Sorry. Is I think, yeah. If I don't explain it throughout the slideshow, I'll come back and answer that. Because, yeah. Ron Skateboards, question. What could have bigger impact on plants? Self-defense, immune system, single nutrients, or balanced diet? What would all attribute from individual nutrients versus general balance of all? Ooh, I love this. Okay, I kind of want to come back to this one as well because that's kind of layered in here as well. Okay, we'll kind of dabble this really quick though, because the immune system of the plant really determines everything. I don't think people realize how much it actually does. Is if you have a sick plant, you have to be careful, not be careful, but you have to do things differently. So like a different medium, I would recommend than say soil or even cocoa, and pot sizes and types of pot. I guess this sounds weird, but you don't want to put a sick plant in like a plastic bag or pre-filled potting systems now that they have, or like the nets. Um, I just I feel like it really determines and how much you're feeding a plant. If you have again like a sick or compromised plant, your EC is going to be lower typically, but then you also can't have an imbalance by running it too low. So you'd have to check your runoff a lot more frequently than a healthy plant, I'd say. But you want ultimately a balanced diet with a healthy plant. Where I think people don't want to check their runoff as much as you should, or pH, honestly. Huge thing that I see that people eventually start skipping over. And it's weird with soil versus hydroponics because living soil, you have a lot of buffers. You can run a more forgiving pH range, and it's okay because you have all these buffers in your soil. But if you're running hydroponically in rock wool or cocoa, or I guess some of these other medium options, it's really detrimental to your plant to have a pH that's exceeding 6.2 is what I would say, because you're getting into trace elements after that. They say you can go up to 6.3, but I kind of veer away from that. 5.8 is what I prefer if you're going hydro, to 6 on like the high end. But the more you get that dialed in, the more your plant's immune system is going to uptake these nutrients properly. If you don't have a proper pH, you don't think it's that important sometimes, but it's really going to screw you all over the place. That probably wasn't the greatest answer yet. Left field 792. I love when this switch to flower kicks in and they pray and start making buds. It's so cool. It's so cool that you say that. I cannot say there's more beauty that comes from a room than watching them pray. And for those that don't know what that means, honestly, is the leaves, you'll just walk in it and they'll all be pointing up. Like their little fingers are just like, oh. But it really is just beautiful. That's when you know that your humidity, your climate, your nutrients, your pest and disease issues, everything is happy. They're just so happy. And they're giving you a high five. Wheezing the juice, they get swole zone. I love that. 530 skeptic. I'd love to hear you take on dry cure process. I've had nothing but failure in that final step and it's heartbreaking. We are going to do a show about it because skeptic, it's not just you. And it depends on what state you live in because you got factors there with the weather. But I have a system that I think is pretty good no matter the climate that you're in or the restrictions financially. I'm not saying that you have financial restrictions. I'm saying sometimes people can't go in and just spend a shit ton of money on dehumidification and humidification and whatever cedar bins or I don't know. Is people get crazy with this when you really don't need to get crazy, but I will do a show on it that covers it start to finish because it's such an important process and I think that it's so easy to fuck up. And I also think that's the same thing is if you ran into issues while you were actually cultivating the plants, by the time you get to cure, if you had any type of issue, that's okay, but you also have to cure differently versus if you have healthy plants because otherwise you'll get other stuff to kind of flare and cure. But a lot of people struggle with getting it too dry or too wet. But yeah, we'll go into all of that. I want to do it right now, but the truth is that could be a whole show because there's so much to it, but it's something that we can simplify and take away a lot of stress. So maybe the next show. Let's do it. Let's do it next Tuesday. Okay? Cuz Michelle asked about that and because you're asking about that and there's been other people honestly and I'm pumped to do this show. So, let's do that next Tuesday. If you can be here, that would mean so much to me. Grab an Inkbird humidity controller. See DP? DP's got tricks. Had mad problems until I got my humidity down. Temps don't matter as much. Yeah, I feel like that's the thing is obviously the temperature and the humidity in the room is going to be important. But I also think there's ways that you can manipulate that with just how you're storing the cannabis and how many plants you have, right? Like if you're pulling down a harvest of 600 plants or 400 plants, you cannot do things the same once again. But if you're pulling down 6 to 10 plants, that actually has more challenges in its own right to maintain the humidity and some of those things. So we'll talk about both just to see. But yeah, where you don't have to be so crazy about the environment actually. It's not that you can't care either, but DP and grow bags for the cure after you dry them. Damn near fail proof. That's pretty cool because I think that's the thing is I don't even think Jason's a huge fan of how I cure. We can cure pretty similarly, but we still have our own methods and we do live in Colorado, which has a really dry climate, which I love. It helps you so much more to work with that than if you have a super humid climate, you know? Actually, like outside, like when it rains here, half the time that we harvest, I feel like we bring the rain because it'll just be like raining for like 3 or 4 days the whole time that we have our harvest and it's astounding. Let's see. So yeah, if you can find things like how DP is saying that, it's nice to have something that you can rely on that's simple. Like if it is just a bag or a container, yeah. We'll just cover a couple different options. And I think DP saying that is something that we could have him come on the show and talk about it more, or you could see what you think online. I'll check them out. I'm sorry, I haven't used them, DP, but I'll check it out and see if I can get more on it. Inkbirds are $40 to $50. Used humidifier is under 20s. Sell a foot, pick, and book. That's cool. James Hammerstrom. Are the essential microbes to process nutrients? Okay, let's go back to this. Sorry, guys. Oh. Let's see right here. 5. Okay, this is one of the ones that got fucked up. So I thought I could go back and edit these photos and just edit this whole slide. But when I tried to go back, it wouldn't let me add the photos without changing the whole thing. And I was having so many problems. So this is one of my worst slides. We could almost skip this. But this, we'll get back to these questions, I promise. Is Azamax, Pyganic, I've talked about. I like them. They're really good for preventative measures. If you're starting, I guess, at crop in summer, those two products, I would say Azamax is better as a preventative and to like maintain the healthy plants. It's fully organic. I think it's technically natural. Pyganic is the same in those regards, but Pyganic I use more when I really need to kill something. I guess specifically flyers or thrips. Super effective. I don't think a lot of people know that. I like to use the EC of 1.4. If you really want to know the details of that, feel free to slide into my DMs and I'll tell you some things that I recommend that work awesome as far as the mix rates and things. Read the label, of course. See, I don't know why I put these stupid photos here because I wanted to list 2 other products and I'm sorry, we're just gonna skip over this slide. This is my failure slide. Okay, Canna Coco versus Rockwool. So I don't know. We know a lot of people that grow with soil, right? Jason grows with soil. I used to grow with soil. I feel most people grow with soil, and it is great. I do love it. But I wanted to kind of talk about Canna Coco specifically because I trust it a little bit more for consistency as far as it being actually sterile and buffered. And then Rockwool, of course, because I actually grow with the 2 together. I put my plants from 2-inch blocks of the Rockwool into 6-inch blocks. And then I fill my pot, which is a 9x9 pot for just a standard flowering time, 10 weeks. And I put it on top of the actual cocoa. So I fill my pot with the cocoa and it's only buried about 2 inches into the cocoa. Sometimes you can do it a little deeper depending on what you're looking for as an ending result out of the plant. But this way you can avoid a lot of, I would say, fusarium and some issues with just like root rot essentially is it keeps your root ball fully aerated and sterile, but then it keeps it with a nice buffer where your plant will still get larger than a typical Rockwool. I would say even 12-inch blocks or some of these other options, or when you put them on slabs, it'll still get more dense. You'll get more of a yield out of it, some of those things, but still maintaining just the benefits of having a sterile medium around the root ball specifically. Okay, so it's excellent. Oh, sorry. Cocoa. It's natural and renewable. Wonderful. I don't recommend reusing it. I don't recommend that with most things, even soil indoors. Outdoors, sure. Indoors, no. But it's excellent for water retention, enhanced root aeration, buffered and stable pH, promotes microbial life, sustainable and eco-friendly. Sorry. Those are some great things, okay? I'm just saying. Grodan Rockwool, sterile and consistent. It's very true though. When you put your plants in these specific sizes and shapes and blocks and wrapped or not wrapped, is you'll get different structure out of the plant. You'll get different things out of the plant bud structure. If you're looking to grow something for only top colas, there's ways to get that. If you're just trying to show off the weed, or you're entering a competition, or you don't really care about yield, you just want it to look good, higher potency. I know people are going to bash on this shit, but it's a true technique that you can do to achieve that. If you're looking for more density, weight, if you're processing the flower, there's other ways to achieve that also. But to get the plant to actually grow more with like density, but the width of the plant to expand instead of like a more topical growth. Let's go back to this. Okay. Superior oxygen to the roots. It's true though. It's just awesome. Uniform and predictable, easy to handle, low organic content, ideal for precision growing. Yeah, and that's the thing too, is if you're trying to really get the most out of a space, again, there's different directions that we can go with this, but rock wool is really easy to get a mixed variety. Say if you're trying to get the most yield out of a space, but you also want to run the most genetics that you can, this is a good way to keep it healthy, clean, not run into a lot of issues. Like I said, I like to do them together. Let's see. We'll keep cruising because we're going to go back to the nutrient stuff. I just can't remember where it's at. Bum, 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 bum. H2O2. So that's the other thing about soil is you can't run high levels or daily doses of H2O2, or you can, I don't recommend it in a living soil, obviously. But that is the plus side to running synthetic, I think, personally, is being able to run H2O2 every time you fill your res. So I guess every water your plants are getting it. You can still foliar feed and still do other things for beneficials, but I'm just a big fan of this since particularly Fusarium, Pythium, Botrytis, HLVD, like this has became a tool that I love. And even for those that are giving their ladies flowers at home or whatever, if you put H2O2 in your roses, some other plants, they'll live longer. It's awesome. Keeps your water nice. It's great. Okay. And reservoirs. I will say people that don't know to clean your reservoir, even if you're not running it in your feed all the time, you really should put H2O2 in for clean days. When you're wiping that sucker out or you want to clean your lines, it's something that you don't have to be fearful of. It's more forgiving. You can mix it at a high rate if you're specifically using it to clean. I love it. Okay, oxygenates the root zone. Kills harmful bacteria and pathogens. Huge. Breaks down organic matter. Improves nutrient uptake. So, yeah, recommended use is 1 to 2 mils per gallon. This is supposed to say 34% solution because, again, I was going to add the picture. Listen, guys, there's some things, but it doesn't matter. It's 1 to 2 mils per gallon if you're going to use it on a regular basis. If you're not going to use it on a regular basis, you can do 3 to 5 mils per gallon. If you're just going to go kind of like some people use it one feed and then they skip the next. It's up to you. Let's see. 7, 8. Another shitty picture. Sulfur. Okay, the reason I wanted to talk about sulfur though is because everybody knows about sulfur for treatments and they talk a lot of shit about it. It's crazy to me because sulfur as a nutrient is so incredible. Like it's so incredible. Even with Jason, I was telling him that most times that I have clones that just got hardened off is if you run specifically burning sulfur for a short amount of time. I don't know the size of your space, but let's just say an hour to 2 hours after your clones are fully hardened off, is your clones will look the healthiest they've ever looked. I'm telling you, it's amazing. And if you do it throughout veg, I wouldn't get crazy. Like, I think people have fucked up using sulfur, and that's why people are scared of it or not into it. There's proper ways to use everything like this, and there's also wrong ways to do it. So I think if you, less is more with sulfur, is if you do just a couple hours a week, but you can't be using oil-based sprays and sulfur at the same time. So if you are using Azamax, you can't burn sulfur, right? You have to wait 2 weeks. So in between these treatments, if you're using it as a treatment. But I see so much beautiful things that come from the plant if you're burning sulfur or if you spray it. Everybody knows the Key to Life product. The mix rate on Key to Life goes pretty hot. I wouldn't go down that path. I use it at 2 grams per gallon because it's a powder. If you're going a wettable sulfur, I love their product. It's just a simple sulfur. It's clean, but I wouldn't exceed that mix rate. And it's the same thing though. You can do really young plants. If you are using the spray, you can still burn, but you don't want to exceed week 2 into flower with this, with a lot of sulfur products, period. They can metabolize it. And I don't think people understand that because of the flavor that people have said has come in hash or from people using it too late into flower. Dumb. It's like, it's a really good preventative for powder mildew and other spores type of fungal issues that you can run into later in flower. Really productive way to use this is early in flower. But beyond, like I said, treatments, it's essential for proteins and enzyme production. It supports terpene and cannabinoid synthesis, enhances nitrogen uptake and utilization, helps prevent powder mildew, and deficiency. Is if your plant is deficient in it, you'll see yellowing of new growth. So it's weird, but when we talk about that praying, is after you burn sulfur, and you don't go too long, you can definitely burn for too long, and you don't like the outcome of it. But your plants will pray. They'll be so happy. The uptake, like I said, improves after this, and you'll notice it's just great. I used to week 1 of flower. Love sulfur. Yeah, see, thanks, DP. It's like, you don't want to use it after the point of having any type of trichomes developing. And that's most products, right? But if you use it before that, week 1 is super safe. Like, it's basically veg. We know it's not, but your plant loves it at that point. Oh, my headphone. Hold on. I knew this was going to happen. Okay, we'll just keep that one right there. Okay, so you guys tell me your thoughts on sulfur too. DP, I really appreciate that because, yes. Okay, so what's happening as your plant grows? This is the weird part too, is 0 to 7 days. So that's typically when you have a clone or a seedling. It can go obviously past that. My clones do take longer, but we'll just start here as a baseline. Is the root development begins. That's a main focus. And let's see, 7 to 21 days, vegetative, rapid leaf and stem growth. 21 to 35 days, pre-flower, transition to flower. So, common practice in growing cannabis is on day 21, everybody will go through and defoliate their plant and cut back what they need, their lower branches and things like that. It is really good for uptake and keeping away some of these things that we're trying to prevent, again, with that root ball just staying healthy. But day 21, the reason they say that is because the hormone shift is just now happening at that point in time in the plant. 21 to 35 days mid-flower, bud sites form, flower stack. 35 days to 56 days mid-flower, bud density increases. 56 to 70 days late flower, ripening trichomes form. Final 7 to 14 days is flush, removes excess nutrients. People have different opinions about flushing as well. That's the thing, is if you want to pass parts per billion commercially, you can, growing with soil. People make it seem so difficult and so impossible, but you really can. You just have to make sure that your flush is longer than a standard flush. And at that point, if your plant gets too low in the actual nutrients being present to pass the testing, that's when you're going to be like compromised as far as, again, like the flavor of the plant, the terpenes. Your THC would probably be higher, but everything else would be a loss. So that's something that you got to be careful of. Same with salts. When you are running synthetics, they flush out a lot faster typically than people realize. So this goes back to just checking your runoff, making sure that everything's good there. And checking your runoff throughout your whole room, not just like one plant, like different parts of the tray, different parts of the room, or every individual plant. If that's not possible, then really focus on the areas that'd be a key component. Like if you have water settling at the back of a tray or something, or on the side, make sure that you check those plants more frequently than the plants that are draining thoroughly. Let's see, 10. I thought that we'd have some of these answers coming up in here. Okay, identify plant problems early. Visual examples. So the last podcast we were talking about visually, you can see this shit. So HLVD, everybody loves talking about it lately. They probably hate it, but this is, I thought, a pretty good picture actually of it. Is the discoloration, intervenial yellowing, especially in older leaves. So new growth typically won't carry as high levels of the viroid as the old growth. Like the new growth, you can visually see it. That's how you can fix these genetics aggressively, cloning them out of it and doing these treatments, is because there is levels within the new growth, but it's just so low still that you can actually combat it. You can't change old growth, period. So look out for that. just look out for that. Fusarium, okay, brown vascular discoloration, wilting, and decay. Like I said, Fusarium is tough because you'll have a plant really green and vigorous, especially in veg, and then you'll put her into flower and she'll look normal and be doing her thing. And then day 21, right around then, that's when you'll start seeing this discoloration and this yellow tips or brown tips. And then you walk in a couple of days later and your plant is like completely dead. Very frustrating. Botrytis, gray mold on buds, soft, fluffy, high humidity. That happens. Like, I've been so pissed at botrytis because I've had things like, not GMO, I'm trying to remember, not Girl Scout. What was the other one, though, that was just like that? Ugh. It's going to drive me crazy because you guys would know exactly what I'm thinking. Well, there's a lot of strains that get so big. So big. And just the bud structure is very, very hard to prevent from having botrytis because you, at least commercially, once again, because you have a full room and your humidity has to be present in the room for the plants to be doing good. You're trying to maintain a certain humidity. Depending on the week you're at in flower, I would say general rule though in flower is you at least want 40% in those beginning weeks. And I guess if you're later where the bud is like really developed like that, is you're trying to keep the humidity around 30% or a little bit lower, which is hard when you have hundreds of plants in the same space. You're just going to naturally have a high humidity. Even if you have dehumidification going, it's just a battle. It's just a battle. So you guys let me know if you've ever battled with that. Durban Poison, Blue Dream, Joseph Anthony, thank you. Mousetrap, thank you for saying that. Because it's so true. There's certain strains that are more prone to it just in general. Like SFV, honestly, just it's a great plant, but it's such a mother trucker with being sensitive to pathogens. Is if it's not powder mildew, there's some of these other things that, yeah, Pythium, root rot, mushy roots, poor drainage, oxygen stress. So it's weird because I think all of these things are typically working together. When you have one of them, you probably have the other ones at least in the same room. From what I've seen, it's really consistent. And just like powder mildew is, even though it's not systemic like these, is I think powder mildew is almost like a symptom though of having these present in your space. I know there's other other reasons that powder mildew can take place, obviously, but I wouldn't be surprised if you have a systemic issue at the same time. At least, like I said, in this space. Maybe not a particular plant that you think, but they seem to all go hand in hand. Blue Dream, yeah. Fucking love Blue Dream, but I like it more than people think. I still have it, and we still have it. And it's just, that blueberry is always grown like that. It's just so annoying. I had botrytis issues with GG4. Exactly. Perfect example, once again, Dino Grow, because Gorilla Glue stacks like that. It's just, that's when burning sulfur or spraying sulfur and running H2O2 really will help you if you can be preventative in the beginning, because it's not you. it's like these plants and these genetics. You gotta baby some of them. You guys know a little bit more differently. And there's only so much you can do. Like, you can't put fans directly on a plant because that'll piss it off as well. Or you could potentially spread other issues to other plants. But I don't know. It's a tough one. I just found, me personally, I have to run H2O2 with strains like that at a little higher level or in my feed every time consistently. Whenever I do that though, even with hydro period, is I always have one off day. Is, say for instance, it takes 4 days to fill my res and the plants to eat it all. So that next refill is I'll just pH my water and I'll still flush my plants with just water, even with hydro. And I won't put H2O2 in that particular round. This is just something I like to do. Let's see. I had been trying. Oh, sorry. Kim Painter, what is a good humidity for a room? Kim Painter, like, it depends on what phase particularly you're at with the plants. So if you're in veg, well, we can start at clones. So clones with the dome on, that's why we're putting a dome on clones, is they prefer about 100% humidity. It does make the roots come faster. The plant just thrives in that environment. When you start getting out of the clones and they're hardened off, and that means they've adjusted to being without a high humidity like that, I'd still say in veg, I like to rock at least 60% if I can. And you can go all the way up to 80% in veg. And I think they'll do great. I know some people don't recommend that. Again, I think you should be spraying some type of like Sanidate, or not Sanidate, sorry, like Xerotol or sulfur. If you are running a really high humidity like that, I think it's just good. Um, but your plants, I think, just love it so much that I'd rather do that than not. But then flower is just like we were talking about with the trichomes and bud development, is those first couple weeks in flower. If you can sit at around 50%, that's amazing. Your plants will love it. Your water, it saves you watering as often or just as much. But I'd say once you pass that root and that bud development, you don't want to exceed 30%. So majority of flower, I would say. That's just my personal recommendation. Uh, yeah, it varies by environment and cycle. Mousetrap, good one. Gelato cake is notorious for powder mildew. Yeah, it really is. Like, I did. There's too many strains that are actually really prone to it. Got it. You cannabis growers have a lot of work. I just throw flowers out in my backyard, but of this stuff is a good learning tool. Kim Fader, you're so awesome. She would crush growing weed. I know it. You guys should see her yard. Just kill her. So cannabis really a tropical plant, if I'm hearing it correctly. I think so. I think you can grow it dry. You can have really fucked levels of humidity. Like I'm saying, where there's barely any at all these phases. Like I used to clone domeless in a place that had 100% humidity some days because their HVAC was completely fucked. And if you were to put clones in a dome, it'd be the worst decision ever. But because it sat high, it wasn't consistent like that though. So I would do domeless clones and it worked. But I think there's all kinds of circumstances that would make you not do that, I guess. But in your ideal world and setup, yeah, I think they like it. Girl in Colorado. Yeah. I mean, plants are super resilient too. It's amazing. Like it would take you longer if you did them domeless, let's just say now with less than 30% humidity as clones. They would root. I promise you they would root. But it would take probably double the amount of time and you probably have weaker roots at first. But then that first transplant, they'd probably be banging. Let's see. 11. Okay. Oh, sorry. I messed up. This again. Oh, this one. I was going to go into all this information and add back to this slide, and I honestly ran out of time. So I'm sorry. Just ignore some of this, most of it. So 707 and Pro Mix. This is essentially what I'm trying to say is those are my preferred soil lines and I mix them together. That's just when I'm growing with soil, these are my go-tos. So I would say the pros to soil is living soil with nutrients because your nutrients are already in the soil. So that's just nice. It's just really nice. Is you can obviously get a light mix or a heavier mix, but I think no matter the path you take, it's nice if you're looking to have a more forgiving buffer. So if you with nutrients, with pH, with water, this is going to hold your moisture content longer, obviously, in the plant itself. So if you don't have a reliable watering system or if you can't water plants every day, you should definitely grow in soil. Ideal for beds in large containers, requires top dressing and amendments. That would be like, I guess most people that grow with soil are always doing top dressing and adding amendments. So I can't think of anybody that really doesn't. But you guys let me know. Resilient and great for use. See, once again, I wouldn't say don't ever reuse it inside. even if you paid a lot for the bag, is I know there's ways to do it. I have done it, but I don't recommend doing it. It's not, if you're trying to actually avoid any pest and disease issue ever, just, yeah, don't. I'd say, okay, BioBiz. This is my favorite line. Pre-bottled, favorite. I won't run it now. It's too expensive. But BioBiz, if you've never used it and you really honestly love organically grown flour, and it just, the flavor, it's just all of it. This is phenomenal. I just love it. I just love it so much. It's 100% organic. It's essentially compost teas. Enhances microbial life, improves soil health, supports strong root and plant development, easy to use and highly effective. The cons: slower results versus synthetics, which is very true. Requires consistent feeding. So this is weird. Not really, but I would only feed once a week when I'm running this, is with the 707 and Pro Mix mixed together of their light mix. I only did it every Wednesday. And I would still run this line majority of the weeks of the plant's life on the lower end. The only times that I would boost up the feed specifically is like around that week 3 to week 6, is those are when that bud, like we were talking about, and that development is like, you really want products at that specific point, like monopotassium phosphate. That's when you want to see that boost, when you want to increase that specifically, because it is for the fruit. It is for the developing of the buds, and it does help. It really does. And it honestly does help with even preventing some of the things like we were talking about with like bud rot, essentially. But anyway, sorry. It's more expensive per feed, not ideal for sterile or hydro systems. I do not recommend this if you have irrigation that is like small lines. You could do it with 3/4 inch or inch, but it'd still be weird going through like Netafim lines, or it would clog your shit. It would. But if you're hand mixing, or if you're using like a wand, and you, fucking awesome. Needs proper storage and handling. That's the thing, is it is expensive and they will not return your shit or like exchange, but it does sometimes blow up. Like, I guess there's a lot of products like that, but yeah, it's just something, don't buy in the summertime, you know? Let's see. You guys let me know if you've ever used BioBiz. It's been a long time for me, but I just loved it. Let's see. Let's go down here a little bit. Left field. Last year I studied tissue culture and I grew a bunch of tropical houseplants. I don't find a lot of great advice for them online. Hey, I'll respond really well to my can of nudes and tricks. Aw, I'm sorry to hear that. Because I would love to talk about houseplants, particularly more often or ever on the show, because that's just amazing. Like Andrew, we've had on the show in the past, and I think he wants to come back on again. And we could do an episode with him talking, really expanding on that subject, because he specializes with orchids, but Andrew loves plants too. But there's a lot of similarities, I think, but then there's also so many differences. Like all my houseplants are in soil. I'm just saying, like there is just things that it's different. But I have noticed as well that the more that you try to find cannabis, you used to not be able to find shit about online. Like 14, 15 years ago, there was like Ed Rosenthal, you know? And I feel like looking back, yeah, it doesn't matter. But now there's so much and there's so many differing opinions that it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to even find information. Like I feel like you almost have to be like hands-on try everything that maybe people are recommending, or if something like appeals to you, but you almost have to like dial in your own shit still. Houseplants, I don't get that. I feel like you would think that that would be an explosive topic, but one day I'm sure it will be. Fall dog, trimming up some blue dream. That's so cool. I have 2 phenos almost finished. That's fucking awesome. Fall dog, you should get the blue dream sometime from us and see to compare them all. That's just so cool that you have 2 phenos of it. We lost blueberry when we had our grow and had somebody babysitting. It was sad though, because the blueberry is so distinctive by DJ Shore, and you can see it so much in Blue Dream. But Blue Dream was such a better bud structure than blueberry by itself to actually have that flavor. And I remember back in the day when Blue Dream was like one of the most expensive pounds. That and Sour Diesel, like those were it. And then Bruce Banner came out. It's true. But it's been so long that you can get like real Blue Dream. We haven't even flowered it in a long time. And I'm like, we should just do this. People still talk shit on it. And I'm like, it's so awesome. Just burn some plants with some fucking Miracle Grow. You got to be careful with synthetic fertilizer. That's so funny. Oh, straight to the point. Fuck it. These fully organic. What it means. No synthetic salts. No harmful chemicals. Builds living soil. Supports microbial life. Better for environment. Better flavor and aroma. I feel like fully organic, I just hear it all the time, and people say it like it's the only way to grow good weed, and I just disagree. I think that there's things, is again the pros and cons game, is like there's a lot of beautiful things that soil can only produce, and there's like a lot of beautiful things that only hydro grown weed could produce. I think because one is not forgiving and the other is, that people have seen more shitty examples of bad grown hydro weed, and even like using bad practice with products and chemicals or pesticides, and I don't know, but I think if you smoke really good clean grown hydro weed, it's fucking awesome too. Best practices: compost teas, cover cropping, companion planting, beneficial microbes. So I put this here because there is a bigger audience, even in the chat, sometimes, that prefers using beneficial insects and companion planting and cover crops and some of these things instead of treatments, which I've done all those too. And they are effective, and it does work. It's just, I'm not into beneficial insects anymore, because usually if you have insects in your garden, you do have a systemic issue, and any insect is going to amplify that and spread it. And yeah, so I'm just not a fan of it anymore. Let's see. Clonex gel. Clonex is just one of my favorite products. It sounds stupid. It really does. But it's consistent. It's hard to like fuck up. It's just really good. Assassin bugs and nematodes easy. Yeah, Mousetrap, I wouldn't disagree with you. Assassin bugs are little gangsters. Fucking awesome. Nematodes are great. And it's great when you have an infestation later in flower. Like, it really is. But the problem that I've seen with it is, if you have Fusarium or HLVD or even powder mildew or anything, or you didn't, is sometimes you can introduce insects to a garden and they'll spread from one plant this shit throughout. And it's just not worth it. It's for me. I think if it works, like, it's funny because Mousetrap works next door to a grow that I fixed and consulted for, and it's a pretty large facility, and they had really bad insect issues, and they were using beneficial nematodes, but they had like root aphids, they had russet mites, they had spider mites. What was the other things? Oh, thrips really, really bad, and fungus gnats. And they did have some plants that were combating fusarium. And so once you put all of that together, like, it's good to just approach it with a treatment. I hate to say it, but they tried to battle me. They tried to battle me, and I was like, they tried to prove to me how great it was. And it's like, that's not the only place I've done that, obviously, but it's like the nematodes would fuck these aphids up. You know, it's awesome. But I think, yeah, once you got so much going on, you just gotta tiger pounce. You know, we were able to eradicate all of that shit in like 4 to 5 weeks, and they had been struggling with it for years. And it's like, let's just get over that phase, because that's not fun. It just destroys. You guys know, like, it just, your poor crop. People just be tearing you apart, not just wanting to buy your flower, and you're like, listen, bud, I'm doing it. Okay, best inputs by days. Days 0 to 7. Clone seedly. Azamax H2O2 low. Oh, evergreen is great. Evergreen is essentially the pyganic I talk about. Is evergreen or pyganic with the EC of 1.4. I only say this because there's multiple different ECs available, and I haven't had the same results positive, except for the 1.4. But evergreen is great. Evergreen, if you have, same thing, if you've got thrips really bad, if you've got fungus gnats really bad, if you've got root aphids, definitely fucks them up. Evergreen, I think, personally, is a little harsher, and it's weird because you're only using it at 2 mils per gallon, but my plants respond better to the pyganic, which are essentially the same thing, but my plants did better with it if you're doing back-to-back treatments. Evergreen works really, really great, but if you're doing really close treatments together, you probably will see a little burning, which, to each their own. Some people don't care. I would rather kill the shit, like the bugs. I'm cool with going through a little burning, but like some owners or some individuals are like, and so yeah. But yeah, evergreen's great. Azamax, the reason I say Azamax you can use so young if you are battling a pest issue is I wouldn't use it as a preventative when they're that young, but if you actually are trying to eradicate something and need to use something when they're that young, Azamax is great. H2O2, same thing. The reason I like H2O2 when they're clones or seeds but specifically clones more so, is when you have that really high humidity level, this is really good for combating, once again, some of the other issues that can come from having such high humidity. It's really rare that you would ever get powder mildew in a clone dome, but if you're cloning from moms that have powder mildew, this is helpful. And then if you also are trying to avoid like algae or any of these pathogen issues because they're in a dome, so they're sharing a little bit of water, it's good. And you can just add it to your feed. Even if you are running a fully organic feed, just run it really low, like 1 mil per gallon. It will still help. I put Canazyme, sorry, for secondary inputs. Cana makes Canazyme, and they make Rhizotonic, and I love both of those products. I think Canazyme they more push, I'm trying to remember, it's just nitrogen, but they push it more towards a later phase in veg. And the Rhizo, they push in that earlier side of cloning. But honestly, they both work really great. And it creates those healthy white roots. Yeah, this is great. 7 to 21 days. BioGrow fish emulsion. That's if you're using like I said, BioBiz or something like that. Photosynthesis Plus, though, is such a cheap product and it's so good. I have had it tested a lot of times and it does have, I wouldn't say the billions of microbes that they say, but it's got a lot of living activity that your plants seem to respond great to. I would go for Photosynthesis Plus. I mixed the Rhizo from Canna because it's expensive. I think it's like $220 for the 5-liter bottle, but it'll last you a long time, depending on the size of your shit. But if you mix it with the Photosynthesis Plus, and I just do like 5 mils per gallon of each, and do a foliar, especially if your plants, once again, are going through treatments or they're combating some other issues. Freaking awesome. It's just an awesome pick-me-up. You'll see if you just did a transplant. It's just beautiful. It does a beautiful job. 21 to 35 days. Pre-flower. BioBloom. Sulfur. We already talked about that. Rhizotonic and Canazyme. It's the same thing. Instead of feeding them that directly, I just like foliars. I won't get crazy with foliar feeds because you still want the roots to be pulling and the nutrients. You really want that to be the main focus of the plant. You don't want them relying on foliar feeds, but it's a nice pick-me-up. 35 to 56 days. Early flower. BioBlue. Photosynthesis Plus again. You can. I will say it's safe, which is usually nerve-wracking. It's safe for when you have that bud structure coming. And we were talking about like bud rot and all that stuff. It does a great job. And it does a great job, I would say, combating late powder mildew without the flavor being compromised or your testing or anything like that. 56 to 70 days. Mid-flower. Peak PK. So what that is again, that monopotassium phosphate is 0.5234. And so super high, super high as a concentrate. And you're using it super low. So I'm trying to think. Moab was a product that they sold for way too expensive for what it was, is because it's monopotassium phosphate. And you really want to be adding that, like we said, after week 3 and only until like probably week 7 max, is depending on how you flush and how late you are running these plants. It's like if you're running a haze, you're going to run this way later, right? If you're not harvesting till week 16 or 15, then you can run this so late. But if you're using it concentrated, you should really only be using probably 0.5 gram per gallon or less. And that's because it's already present in whatever nutrients you're feeding your plant. Typically, if you're using a bloom of any kind, it's going to have this in it. One thing I will say is if you add it to clones and seeds in the very, very beginning, which people think is weird, is it's really good to prevent disease. It's just it really, but again, you're running it so low. You could probably run it at 0.2 per gram, and it's really just a splash. But your plants, they respond well to it. 70 plus days, late flower. It's a terpene booster. 70 plus days, late flower. Flush. 6.2 to 6.5. And that's again if you're in soil. If you're not in soil, you should be doing 5.8. You could go to 6.2, but I like to say 5.8 to 6 with hydro. H2O2 low. I love flushing though with magnesium as well. Is if you add magnesium at 1 gram per gallon, it will actually flush out your plants faster. If you add it at 0.5 gram per gallon, it will increase your uptake. So just saying. I'm going back to the chat for a second. Let's see. It blows my mind on how you get all these pests when you grow inside. I get it when you are growing outside. Where you got birds, bugs, it still shocks me. Yeah, Kim Painter. Nobody thinks about that. Nobody thinks about it indoors. It's fucking hard. Is outside is actually better because you do have all these predators and you can introduce other things, and it's just amazing. It's an amazing system. The ecosystem is a great system. If you get insects inside, it is a motherfucker to get them out. Once they're in, it is so hard. It is so hard. I mean, it depends, I guess, on your staff size and the size of your building and all these things, but there's so many factors of how they come inside. And to keep them out, or you'll kill them and then you'll buy soil and you'll get them back. Or summertime will happen and your staff will go outside and they'll be smoking cigs in the park and bring in all this shit, spider mites, fucking everything. And even if you shower, like when I was at Rodegnas, you'd have to shower seriously like 12, 14 times a day. Your skin was so dry. It's miserable. But they thought that would be a great system. But then it was too sterile. So then we got powder mildew. And it's just, I don't know. Erin Woodley, I love you too. That is so freaking nice of you. Thank you for the sparkle of sunshine. Let's see. Mousetrap seeds, train, see more risks. When it's a cash crop, minimizing risks, increase profits. Definitely. You cannot have all these issues because like things that we talk about that people roll their eyes about is overall potency of a plant is affected by pest and disease issues. So it's not that the number, right, as a consumer, like it's not in those regards, but as a cultivator, it's valuable to be looking at this information. If you're submitting your test results legitimately, it's valuable in the regards of like if your potency is going down in any way, right? Terpenes, THC, anything like that, your yield, obviously there's an issue. 9 out of 10 times fucking russet mites in Colorado is because people can't visually see them like root aphids or thrips. But I think for the most part is they just cause so much damage. They make beautiful strains look so ugly. And then people will start thinking that the grower or the dispensary or the home grow is like shitty when it's like you can't be judging people off of like one round either. You got to look at all these factors of like what time of year is it? Like I don't know. Yeah, hemp temps. They can fucking bring that shit in. Even the grow store. You go to the grow store, everybody goes to the grow store. And is everybody cleaning your bags and your products before you bring them into your building? And then you were just at the grow store, so are you going to clean yourself? Like, it's just like, ugh. Wesley Pipes. J-Lo, love you, girl. Congratulations. Crazy how time flies. That's so nice. Thank you, Wesley. You guys are so awesome. Thank you for the love. I needed some love tonight. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm also realizing as I go through this, we're almost at the end. Sorry. Is that I didn't answer the questions the way I wanted to answer the questions. These pictures are completely fucked because this is again a slide I was going to go back to and add the legit pictures, but I was trying to do this quick and never try to do something quick because when you try to edit it, then it shifted my entire thing I had going on and the information I put. And I just kind of want to skip this one because it just pisses me off. Yeah, I'm going to skip it. I don't like it. I should have fixed it. Immature. Okay. Main pests in cannabis. Okay, this is what we're targeting all the time. I feel spider mites, tiny sap suckers. Yes. Next time you're trying to insult somebody, call them a sap sucker. Is webbing, yellowing. Have you guys seen these cause so much damage or their population grows so much that there's webbing freaking on everything? Just everything when it's curing. And you're just like, I've had to vacuum weed off. Okay, it's not at my company. Honestly, it doesn't even matter. I'm not going to defend this. This shit has happened. It's impressive that these little fucks can do this. Aphids, sapsuckers, curl leaves, stunt growth. This is again, aphids are a mother trucker with spreading disease. I mean, all these insects are, but those sapsuckers, the leaf curl is also different from the leaf curl that russet mites will give you. They're very distinctive, but I wish I would have put the pictures below it. Thrips, scrape leaves, silvering, transmit viruses. Yes, they do. Whiteflies, sapsuckers, honeydew, sooty mold, caterpillars, choose leaves and buds. Fungus gnats, larvae, eat roots, cause root rot. Yes, they do. Little fuckers. That's a list of little fuckers. Yeah, it happened to me one time, Wesley Pipes. Thank you for saying that. Because it's happened to some of the best. Some of the best. And it's just, you're like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. But the things we've all smoked. You know, that's what's funny. I think it's funny that all these like weed snobs now. I've always been a weed snob. But I think it's funny that we've all smoked like the gnarliest shit without knowing. And we like to get high. And then the weed was probably better back then. Fucking mited up, eagle 20'd, all of it. Colfax Pot Shop. Oh my gosh, Mousetrap. I forgot about that. I actually did see their grow. I saw the back of their, like, inside of their dispensary at, like, a party night. It wasn't for business, I'll tell you that much. And, whew, it's the little things. I was like, man, you guys are in business? How the fuck is... Yeah. This is sad. Let's see if we go. This is our last slide. Yeah, this is just our slide of our slides. It's okay. We'll just keep it on that one. Because, oh no, we'll put that back up. Sorry. Yeah, okay, I didn't answer the questions that I wanted to answer. So I'll answer them next week. I will. I'm sorry about that. I thought I put the phases. I really did. And I thought I listed when the microbes or micro and macronutrients would be the most important. And I don't want to ruin it now because that is the key component. I don't know how I skipped that. Sorry about that. But let's see. Oh, Mousetrap, mash and gasoline. Best mic here. Yep. Works every time. There's a picture from an electron microscope of 3 broad mites on the leg of a whitefly. That is freaking cool. If you feel like DMing me that, be kind of interested. Okay? Very interesting. A couple bugs won't hurt you. Haha, protein. It's true. You know? I like your attitude, Kim Painter. Joseph Anthony, great job on the slides. Very professional tonight. Joseph Anthony, thank you so much for saying that because I did put effort into this and that's why I had to skip doing this show. And now I'm so bummed that I didn't go back and complete my edits and get to some of the questions that you guys had. But I will fix it and I promise moving forward. Now I know when I build this on a Mac that you cannot do the editing. I thought I could edit it. I really did. I was like, I'm going to build this while I'm in the flow and then I'm going to come back and oh my gosh, I tried for like the last 4 days and then just kept messing up everything else. And so I really appreciate you saying that because now I know how I'm going to do it moving forward and I think it will come out better. Yeah. And I think I even tried to make the font more crisp and a little bit larger, but it was like too late that I kept modifying the whole thing. So the next couple shows, I really will try to like refine it and dial it in now. I'm working with this program and I'll get better at it. Yeah. So thank you so much. And thank you for giving me the encouragement I needed. Oh, yes. Well, I feel like you guys are so much fun and so much chemical spray. We have all smoked Wesley Pipes. Yeah, I do think it's funny. I mean, I just obviously I want to grow weed that does not ever hurt anybody or myself or just anything in between. And but I do think and appreciate when I started. It was 2008, 2009 when Colorado went medical, and we just did so much stupid shit, like just flip flops. Like I was getting like slapped with Eagle 20, just walking through spraying. I only say this now because I'm pretty sure I can't get in trouble for it now. But gosh, we just did such stupid shit. But there was no MED, there was no Department of Ag coming in. There wasn't any of that. And honestly, none of these growers were trying to like hurt anybody. It was just like, you got a powdered mildew issue, let's use this. You got a spider mite issue, let's use it. But the weed was better. Okay, because of this. I think it was all the idiots that ruined it in the end, that were spraying like spinoside at like week 9. It's like, dude, thank you for taking it all away. But yeah, I think we've smoked some shit, and I think we're doing great. So I think that they all need to cool it. Even pesticide testing, really quick. I think it's kind of funny because people are like, pesticide testing is the only important testing. And I'm like, that's great. That's great that you think that in theory. But it's like they're only testing for specific pesticides. So there's hundreds of pesticides, right? We all know that. There's lots of active ingredients and ranges and things like that. And I get their attempt. And there's, again, ways to manipulate your testing. If you really want effective testing, somebody needs to come from the lab and take your test samples from your plants directly, which everybody would fail. Something. Aspergillus, guaranteed. But when you look at the way they do it, and I'm just like, dude, you could be smoking lots of pesticides. Like there's plenty of pesticides that are approved up to day of harvest, and people do spray the shit with peroxide and all this stuff, which I get it. But if consumers got it, they would cool it with all this shit. We would all just remove testing, and you should just like either trust who you're buying the weed from or not. I would say yeah. Sorry. Kim Painter, do sections and answer those questions. Then next week, do you know this was really good information? Thank you, Kim Painter. Yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool to put the specific questions and do it formally. I would like that. I could do that. Okay. Well, let's do it. Let's do it next week. We'll do the Cure show next week, and we'll keep working on this. I'm going to make a better slideshow. I'm inspired now. And thank you guys for the love. Thank you for listening. And I look forward to seeing you next week. I hope you have a beautiful week, and I love you guys back. Okay. Peace and love.